Hey everyone, welcome. My name is Brian Rose, and I want to thank you for joining us for this Healthy Living Rules January Jumpstart webinar. We're here tonight to really kick off 2016 with an awesome healthy beginning. So many of you have committed to taking this first month of January of 2016 and starting to add simple changes into your life to make sure that it's your best year yet. And we're here together as a community to support you, to give you guidance and encouragement, and to really create a place where all of us who are in that same boat, who want to make 2016 our best, our healthiest year yet, where we can all be together in a group really encouraging each other. So thank you for joining us. The purpose of this webinar is to give you all of the tools, the resources that you need to really start the year with a bang with our January Jumpstart Challenge. And I'd like to introduce to you a panel of some awesome individuals. We'll start over here on my left. We have Heather Wonke. Hey, Heather.
Hey!
Heather is a registered dietitian and nutritionist living in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Heather, how long have you been in that field of study and of work?
Well, I've been studying about nutrition since 1993, but I became a dietitian in 2008.
Oh, awesome. Thank you. And Heather, can you tell us what your specialty is, what your focus on in nutrition is?
Absolutely. It is in adult weight management and family health.
Awesome. Thanks, Heather. You come with a lot of experience in this area, so we really appreciate you being on this webinar with us. Also, we have Jamie Kinsey. Hi, Jamie.
Hey, guys.
Hey. Thanks for joining us. Jamie lives in Washington, Missouri with her husband, Jaron, and their 3 beautiful children. Jamie is a collegiate athlete as well as an avid CrossFitter. Jamie, would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, you pretty much told the bulk of who I am. I mean, I'm just passionate about nutrition. I'm passionate about just movement. I love anything that has to do with being functional for years to come.
That's great. Thanks, Jamie. Thanks for joining us tonight. And I'd like to introduce Michelle Ball as well. Hey, Michelle.
Hi.
Michelle is from Alberta, Canada, a mom of beautiful children. Would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself and your background, Michelle?
Sure. I am a former high school science teacher. I have 2 degrees, one in biology and one in teaching. So I have a good, solid understanding of research, and that led me into my journey with Juice Plus. And I just have a real passion for helping families get healthier, particularly children, because my son really struggled with his immune health, and we've just seen such a change following the Healthy Living Rules. And so it's been 3 years we've been following these rules as a family, and we're still going strong, and I just love how easy and maintainable it is.
Thank you so much, Michelle. And from what I understand, your son is doing really well in his immune system right now, isn't he?
Oh, definitely. Yes, it's been 3.5 years since we've needed antibiotics, so a complete turnaround with his health, and of course we've seen positive changes with his behavior and his attention span as a result of no more antibiotics and no more medication. So we couldn't be happier with how it's gone for him.
Yeah, I'll bet. Well, thank you. And it's great to have moms on a mission. I know so many people, they're not just thinking about their own health, but they're thinking about their family's health as well. And the Healthy Living Rules is such a beautiful way to really support the whole family with that. And I'd also like to introduce you to Tammy Thrasher. Tammy is a good friend of mine from Rochester, New York, and Tammy is interpreting in American Sign Language for our deaf and hard of hearing friends. So Tammy, thank you very much for serving tonight. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to ask Jamie Kinsey. Jamie, could you let us know why is the January Jumpstart Challenge happening? What's the goal of it? What's the intention? And what have been some results from similar challenges that we've hosted in the past?
Well, absolutely. Well, I think, our culture as a whole loves to really embrace, healthier living in the month of January, and the media puts it everywhere. And so we want to be loud and proud here because this is something that we've had a track record with for quite some time. And really, it's a reset button. It's a reset button for your health, for your habits, for your relationship with food. And so we took these, we've condensed, Brian, you'll get to see the image in just a little bit, like kind of 10 little steps to this challenge. But really there's four areas that we target. And we kind of had to look at what is the bare minimum that somebody can do, because we know that the simpler we can make it, the more success you're going to have. So what's the bare minimum we can do to have significant health changes and results? And so when we get to talk about the nutrition side in a little bit, what you're going to see is that we picked these 4 things because they fit. They promoted a healthy psychological response, they promoted a healthy hormonal response, they supported a healthy gut, and lastly, they supported immune function and minimized inflammation. And so that's really important, and we don't typically talk so in depth about the science, but I think these ladies tonight are going to, and so I'm really excited for what you guys get to hear. And so, what some people have experienced through this challenge, sure, weight loss may have been a part of it, but really it's overall health, maybe clearer skin, more energy, better bowel habits, better mood, the ability, decrease inflammation in their joints, so maybe they're more apt to get down on the ground and play with their kids or their grandkids. I mean, there's just so much more quality of life that have been put back into the people who've embraced these challenges because they're a reset. We technically are not, I would say I can't live this way 365 days a year, so strict, but the healthy living rules give you that really simple place to go back to after you've had a birthday or after you've had a wedding or after you've had some kind of event where you kind of veer off of the healthy living rules a little. So I'm really excited for you guys, if this is your first challenge, to dive in full force and learn a little bit more tonight. So hope that helps, Brian.
It sure does. Thank you. And before the webinar went live, Michelle and I were talking about the holidays and how we had so much fun with family and friends, but when you're in that environment, it's hard to make the healthiest choices every single minute of every single day. And we were just saying what perfect timing it is that we're starting the January Jumpstart right now. So I'm really glad that everyone who is viewing this is joining us. And Jamie, you really outlined beautifully why this is important and what we can expect from it. So ladies and gents, I'm going to share with you the 10 steps, the 10 guidelines for the January Jumpstart. And we're going to go over them briefly together, and then I'm going to ask Heather, our registered dietitian, to go into a little bit of detail about why each one of these is so important. So I'm just going to share my screen right now. Here we go. Okay, so I hope you guys can all see this. These are the 10 guidelines for the Healthy Living Rules January Jumpstart. I'm ready to start. Now what? Well, the first thing is that we want you to choose your own time frame. We don't want to tell you how long to do this challenge. We want you to decide in the context of your own life. One of the things that some of us have done in the past is to do like a 14-day challenge and then maybe take a day or two off and then do another 7-day challenge after that, or mixing it up, mixing and matching to be flexible with our life. So that's number one. Choose your time frame. Number two, take the Juice Plus Orchard, Garden, and Vineyard Blend daily, and Heather will tell you more about what Juice Plus is and why we recommend it. Number three, there is a really delicious, very helpful cranberry detox beverage. It's a little sour at first, but you do get used to it, and it has many health benefits as well, and we're going to drink that first thing in the morning. Number four, very, very important, really the foundation of the nutritional aspect of this is to eat real food, and that means fruits, vegetables, lean organic protein, seeds, and nuts. What we're avoiding is anything processed, anything that doesn't build our body up. Number five, drink 1 to 2 complete shakes each day. The complete shakes, also Heather will tell you about the complete shakes, but they are very helpful in being consistent, along with having a lot of whole food nutrition in the shakes as well. They really do help people stick with the decision that they've made to participate in the challenge. Number six, no dairy and no gluten. And there's some very good reasons for that, which Heather will go over. We're going to limit the sugar to less than 30 grams per day, not including the complete shake powder. The complete shake powder has a different type of sugar, and Heather will go over what the difference is with that. But the rest of the sugar in our diet, we will keep to 30 grams or less every day. Number 8, drink 1/2 to 1 gallon of water each day. Technically, the correct way to figure this out is to take your body weight in pounds and then have it, and that's how many ounces of water you're to drink every day. But we just approximate it and say between 1/2 and 1 gallon of water every day is ideal. Number 9, move your body at least 30 minutes every day. That doesn't need to be strenuous exercise. It can be going for a brisk walk on your lunch break or playing with the kids outside. It doesn't need to be going to the gym for 90 minutes if you don't want it to be. And of course, number 10, very important, is sleep. We want you to sleep a minimum of 7 hours each night. 8 hours is ideal if you're able to do that. So those are the Healthy Living Rules guidelines for this January Jumpstart Challenge. And Heather, I would like you to take a few minutes, take your time to go through each of these guidelines and share with us why you feel they're so important with your background in weight management and as a registered dietitian.
Absolutely, I would love to do that. And hello, everyone. I'm just so glad that everyone's joining us today. And why I love some of these guidelines is because I feel like they're all foundational. I struggled with my own weight in college. I was an athlete in high school and went to college and started eating a lot more processed food than I did growing up, and obviously was not competing in athletics. And so I put on a significant amount of weight my freshman year. In just about 9 to 10 months, I had put on about 75 pounds, which is why I said I really started studying health and wellness in the early 90s. And I feel like in today's world that we have complicated a really simple solution to health, and that is really just fueling our bodies with a lot of plant and just real food. And my definition of real food is if you were to walk out to a farm, if you could see it growing out of the ground, coming off of a tree, or walking around on that farm, that is what real food is. And unfortunately, we live in a world where very few of us are eating real food. We really fuel our bodies with dead processed food, and that leads to just so many diseases. And so why I love these challenges is because I feel like it really gets us back to the basics and focused on just some simple things we can all do to not only recharge our bodies and bring vitality, but also just to live a life of health. So I love step 1 of choosing the time frame that works for you, whether that's the 7-day challenge, the 14, the 21, or the 30. I absolutely love that you can kind of pick a time frame that works for you in your life. And taking Juice Plus is, to me, just a no-brainer. It is foundational nutrition. Because our diets are so lacking in fruits and vegetables, especially raw fruits and vegetables, that is where Juice Plus is just the answer for so many of us. So obviously there's 3 blends. We have our Vineyard blend, which is our dark berries. We have our fruit blend, and then we have our vegetable blend. And this is raw food that comes in a capsule form, and it is foundational nutrition. And our bodies to really detox on a daily basis, because our bodies do want to detox on a daily basis, need a myriad of vitamins and minerals and enzymes, and Juice Plus can support that on a daily basis. And it is live, living, raw food, and it is going to help your body take in what it needs to rejuvenate, to replenish, and you're basically forcing your cells to accept something good. And when it accepts something good, it has to obviously get rid of the bad so it can utilize the good, and Juice Plus assists the body in doing that. The detox drink is awesome because it is going to help your body really thin out the bile and stimulate the liver and your lymphatic system to remove toxins. And so the combination of the cranberry juice and the lemon and the apple cider vinegar will also help your body become more alkaline, which is super important because when your body and blood is in an alkaline state, you can really combat disease, because acidic foods and processed foods are really acidic. Disease loves an acid environment. And so when you turn your bloodstream and your body into an alkaline state, you are improving your immune system, and you can really fight disease and burn fat, which is what we're really hoping to do in this challenge. Eating real food, that to me is just, again, one of the foundational things that we can do for our health. And I know that we stated on our challenge that it's fruits, it's vegetables, it's lean organic protein, nuts, and seeds. And I think just an easy filter to find out if something is a real food is you can just ask yourself, if I walked out to a farm, would I see it growing there? If the answer is yes, then it's real food. And if the answer is no, then it's more than likely a processed food. Drinking 1 to 2 shakes a day. I absolutely love our Juice Plus Complete, because the fruit, vegetable, and berry blend is 30 different fruits and vegetables, and when you add this bad boy, it's another 14 fruits and vegetables. It is such a simple way to replace unhealthy calories with healthy calories. It also is only 120 in the vanilla and 130 in the chocolate shake blend, and they taste absolutely delicious. There is no struggling or gagging this down. They are super, super good. Kids love them. My husband loves them. I love them. And they're filling. I think I've tried so many different shakes out there, and I absolutely have never found anything, number one, that tastes this good, but number two, that stays with me so long. It has 8 grams of fiber in them, and that fiber slows down the release of all of the protein and all of the sugar into the bloodstream. So you get this nice sustaining energy, and it sustains your blood sugar, and then you don't have to rely on that willpower. When your blood sugar is stable, you are able to think more clearly, you're able to focus, and you're also able to make better food choices. It's actually a good hormonal thing. And no dairy and no gluten. These are kind of what we call the secret weapon in the healthy living rules, because dairy and gluten are both causes of inflammation in the body. And dairy is also promotes something called the insulin growth factor, which promotes inflammation in the body, but also turns on cancer cells in the body. And so nobody obviously would want that. And gluten. A lot of people don't realize how sensitive they may be to gluten until they really challenge themselves to eliminate it. And that was definitely my story. Once I took it out, tried to add it back in, I realized that I was sensitive to it. And unfortunately, you know, today's wheat is a super strain grain. It has been highly processed, genetically modified to be super resistant to different kind of climates, different kind of pesticides and herbicides. And so we're not really eating the wheat of our ancestors. And that's causing a lot of havoc in the body. And inflammation can show up as asthma, allergies, skin conditions, acne, eczema, psoriasis, irritable bowel syndrome. And so a lot of people just aren't connecting the dots to some of the ailments they may be experiencing to the diet. And so when you eliminate 2 major causes of inflammation, dairy and gluten, a lot of those conditions subside, which is just absolutely amazing. Limiting your sugar to less than 30 grams a day. We are not counting the sugar incomplete. This is another secret weapon, because when you consume sugar, it puts your body in a stressed out state, and it makes your body produce a hormone called insulin. And insulin is your body's main fat storing hormone, and it is physiologically impossible for your body to burn fat when insulin is present inside of the bloodstream. And insulin is your master hormone. I like to explain it to my patients. If you think about a symphony, insulin is the conductor. It tells hundreds of hormones what to do, and when it is out of balance and out of control, it is telling your body to burn some of the sugar, but to really burn it and store it store it as fat to get it out of the blood supply. And so it can easily lead to weight gain. And during this challenge, we are wanting weight loss, right? That's what we're here to do. So keeping those sugars below 30 is huge. And then drinking 1/2 to a gallon of water a day. And Brian, I love what you said. Ultimately, what you want to do is take your body weight, divide that by 2, and that is how many fluid ounces of water you should be having a day. And this is one simple change I always start with my patients, is consuming more water. You know, you can flavor it. I have a lot of people say they don't like the taste of water. If you want to squeeze fresh lemon in it or lime or put some other different fruits to flavor it, that is absolutely fine. But you absolutely need to increase your water and keep it to at least half of your body weight in fluid ounces. That will improve your skin. It will help eliminate waste. It will get your bowels functioning more regularly, and it's a great way to start your morning. I still have my cup of coffee in the morning, but I start my day with water. Moving at least 30 minutes a day, that is the bare minimum. And that is so doable, and it doesn't have to be 30 consistent minutes. If you can break that up to 3 10-minute segments of time, that's great, or 2 15 minutes of time, whatever can work into your schedule. But I like to tell my patients that, you know, exercise sometimes, especially during this time of the year, it can become punishment if you only are trying to exercise to lose weight. I like to encourage my patients and my clients to exercise as a way of practicing self-care. Our bodies were meant to move. And I know in another webinar I did, I compared our bodies to stagnant water. When water is stagnant, it is a breeding ground of disease. And so is our body when we don't move, because physical activity is great for our brains. It releases endorphins that help us feel good. It improves our confidence, and there's just so many benefits to moving. So I'm just going to encourage you to do the bare minimum of at least 30 minutes every single day, and if you can do more, go for it. Sleep is another tool that is highly underutilized, and I always compare it to a computer. When you leave your computer on and you don't shut that down every night and let your computer reboot, it gets really slow and it doesn't run at its maximum capacity. And that is what our bodies are doing when we deprive it of sleep. So we're just challenging you to get at least 7, ultimately 8 hours every single day, because during your sleep, that is when all of the repair and the rejuvenation and your body's reboot is happening.
Heather, thank you. Though you went through all of those, and it was very helpful. I do have a question for you that some people might be thinking about. Two questions. The first one is, you mentioned at the very beginning Juice Plus, and you described how Juice Plus was from fruits and vegetables. It's in a capsule, and I have a feeling some people who may not be familiar with Juice Plus might think to themselves, hey, I already take a really good multivitamin. Won't that be just as good? And what would you say to people that are taking a multivitamin?
Okay, so my answer to the multivitamin, no. You're comparing apples to oranges. Most multivitamins, if not all, but that's such a strong word, are really synthetic, which means fake or man-made chemicals. And what they have done is extracted something that's really easy to take back to a lab and replicate or duplicate and stick it into a pill. So, and usually they take the biggest ones because they're the easiest to replicate. So they might take vitamin C or vitamin A and vitamin E and turn it into a pill, but those amounts are never found in nature. Like if you eat broccoli or an apple, you're not getting 100% of what you need by eating just a little bit of broccoli or an apple. Our bodies are made to consume real food throughout the day to supply our bodies with everything that we need. So Juice Plus is food, and that's where vitamins and minerals are found. That is why we need to be taking a whole food concentrate, because it can be absorbed, it can be used by the body. Most people, when they take vitamins, your body recognizes that it's not real, and it does its best to actually try to excrete it, which is why our urine is usually really bright yellow and smells somewhat like a vitamin when we take a vitamin.
Okay, thank you. That's a really good point. And one more question. You mentioned when we were talking about sugar, we want people to limit sugar to 30 grams or less, not counting the sugar from the Juice Plus Complete powder. Why is that? What's so special about the Juice Plus Complete shake that powder that sugar is treated differently?
Most of the sugar in the complete shake is coming from plants. It also has a little bit of organic cane sugar, and stevia has a totally different reaction inside of your body than table sugar, which is pro-inflammatory. It's highly acidic, and the sugar in complete is mostly from plants, as stevia is a plant, and so it has a completely different reaction inside of your body.
Awesome, thank you. And you mentioned the fiber helps sort of prolong the release of that sugar too. I'm sure that that's really different than just eating a high sugar food, a treat, something like that.
Yes, it is.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Heather. I really appreciate that. Michelle, you've done challenges like this before, and you have found some great tips to help people be successful with them. Would you share some of those tips with us?
Yeah, you bet. So one thing I want to say before I kind of go into some tips and tricks is that when you look at those 10 steps, it might be a little bit overwhelming. Like, oh my gosh, I'm just starting my health journey and here's these 10 steps and they look great, but can I really do it all? Remember that you're choosing your timeline. So it's really important, if you only feel comfortable starting with 7 days, please start with 7 days. That is all I can wrap my mind around when I do challenges myself. Now, that doesn't mean I'm not going to add on to it, but at the beginning, I know that I can cut out dairy, I can cut out gluten, I can watch my sugar, and I can be strict with what I'm eating for 7 days. That's manageable mentally for me. When I get to the end of the 7 days, almost always I'm feeling so amazing. My mental clarity is through the roof. I've lost inches around my waist and my legs already. So then I'm like, wow, and I get this confidence to do another 7 days. So that'd be my first tip or trick, is that these are meant to be short-term challenges. And this is not, you're not going to follow these 10 steps or this way of living for 365 days of the year. That would just be not realistic and setting you up for failure. Now, what we do on the other parts of the year when we're not in a January Jumpstart challenge or other challenge in another part of the year, so for those periods of time where we're not in a challenge, you're just going to loosely follow the core 4. So you're going to look at eating real food as often as you can, drinking water, moving your body, and sleeping properly. And this is what I did over the Christmas holidays, and I felt great for it. And I did use the secret weapon a little bit, where I was really staying away from gluten and sugar. So for example, when I would go into a big Christmas dinner, I would load up with protein and veg, and then I would stay away from the buns and the carbohydrates. And I mean, I loaded my plate, don't get me wrong. People would look at my plate and be like, you're going to pack that in there? So I'm not a light eater by any means, but staying away from gluten, sweets, carbohydrates, not only did it help me come through the Christmas holidays without putting on too much weight, it also is a cleaner burning fuel. When you're sticking to real food, you don't get that big bellyache after eating and that sort of thing, and you just feel better for it. So most of the choices I make are because I know what it's going to feel like afterwards. And so that would be my first tip, is pick a timeline that's manageable for you. The second thing that really works for me is having high protein, clean snacks available on hand easily. So I always like to buy 2 cartons of eggs, and one of them I get home and I boil right away. If you don't know how to boil eggs properly, you can Google it, but I like to put them in the water, bring it to a boil, turn the burner off, leave them on the burner, and set a timer for 12 minutes. Then you put them in a cold water bath so they stop cooking right away, and that prevents it from being too dry or too soft. And then stick them in the fridge. You can even peel them and put them in a Ziploc bag, so they're that much easier to grab. But a boiled egg with salt and pepper on it, if you're a salt freak like me, that's going to give you that craving that you're desiring. The old you would have gone into the pantry and grabbed chips. Well, if you beat it and you grab a hard-boiled egg with some salt and pepper on it, you don't even crave the chips. That leads me into my third tip of eating before you get hungry. It's so important. You should be fueling your body every 1.5 to 2 hours on this challenge. So that means even if you've got to set a timer in your phone, go and eat before your body is telling you to eat, because by the time it's telling you to eat, you're going to make a bad choice. So I always like to go in and then grab, I'll make a salad at that point, or one of the things I love doing is mixing up tuna with some Greek yogurt, some avocado, some onion, and just it really tastes yummy, and using gluten-free crackers. That's a really nice snack. Apples and peanut butter is a really nice snack. Having a handful of nuts, another really nice snack. Cutting up an avocado and drizzling some lemon, which you're going to have already on hand for your detox drink. Drizzle some lemon and salt and pepper on it. Delicious snack. And again, those are not things you would want to eat if you were starving, right? But they are so good when you feed yourself before your stomach is growling. The other thing that's so important, and I know that we talked about it earlier with drinking your water. If you need to set a timer on your phone for that, that helps you feel satisfied. It helps you stay full. It helps your cravings stay on track. And then the last tip I wanted to talk about was in regards to drinking 1 to 2 protein shakes a day, our complete protein. Our complete protein is so glycemically balanced that it stays with you, and it does eliminate cravings. I'm watching comments on the side, and people are saying, wow, within 1 week of doing 2 shakes a day, I can't believe that my cravings are gone. And they're not just saying that. It is true. So sometimes people will fall off the wagon of doing 2 shakes a day because you just have that craving to chew food, if you're anything like me. And so what I do is I have one big fully loaded smoothie. I like adding all the superfoods, hemp hearts and soaked chia seeds and kale, and I like putting coconut oil in there, maybe a quarter of an avocado, which I freeze. You know, when your avocados are all about ready to go bad, you can freeze them in the freezer and then just pop one in frozen. And I like having that big superfood smoothie. But sometimes I just don't feel like mixing up that huge smoothie again during the day, or having something that tastes exactly the same as what I had in the morning. So in those cases, I know it's imperative to get 2 shakes a day down my throat when I'm doing a challenge because of what it does to my cravings. So what I do is just grab a shaker. You know, those gravy mixers will do if you don't have a proper shaker. Put almond milk, coconut milk, cashew milk, some sort of a dairy substitute in there, lots of ice, put a scoop of chocolate complete, shake it up. It tastes like chocolate milk. You can guzzle that right there and you're done. You've gotten your second shake of the day. And then your meal, you really want to make sure that your meal is satisfying and warm. I like to have my meal at lunchtime because that's when I'm hungriest. That's when my body's doing the most work for me during the day. Whereas at night, your metabolism is sort of gearing down for the evening, and I can get away with a big shake at that point, maybe a shake and a salad or something like that. But make sure that your one meal a day that you're eating is really hearty and satisfying. You know, a quinoa stir fry, or, you know, even a big bowl of oatmeal that's loaded with, you know, cranberries and almonds and things like that. But make sure that it's really sticking to your ribs and you feel like you got to eat something significant. The name of the game in this challenge is that you're not hungry. If you're hungry, then you're not doing it right. So that's what I love about the HLR, and I'm really proud, and I know Jamie's going to address this in a minute, to do this in front of my children. As a mom, I'm not starving myself. If anything, I'm eating more often, and I'm showing them with every choice how powerful food can be as far as making you feel healthy and strong. Not weight loss, but healthy and strong. And weight loss is a natural byproduct of eating real food and following these healthier living rules. And sure, we can all do a jump start together because, heck, we all got a little off track, even my kids, over Christmas. So it's something I can be proud of as a mother to do in front of my children.
What an amazing way to look at that, Michelle, is not just for yourself, although you will feel good, you will feel better, but the fact that you're bringing your family into this as well as a role model, but also as you're making these healthy changes. I mean, I'm sure as a result, your children are also going to be making healthy changes too.
Oh, certainly. My kids will hold me to task and be like, "Mom, we didn't move our body today." So
I remember that one time you were telling us about, you watched a video that had the healthy living rules, and your son saw the one that said move, and he like ran up to his room and started exercising.
Yeah, he was doing push-ups in his bedroom.
Jamie, you have 3 beautiful children, and I know that, you know, your family is very healthy. I know you try throughout the year just to live a very healthy lifestyle. How can other families bring their children into this January Jumpstart? Because we're all about families. You know, our Healthy Living Rules tagline is one family at a time. If we can help one family at a time become healthier, then we've done our job. What advice would you give parents who want to bring their children in on this?
Yeah, I mean, obviously depends on the age of your kids, but the younger they are, I mean, built in this program is helping you to be a health role model, just like Michelle was saying, and that's like awesome. The more that your kids seeing you do these healthy habits, the more normal it's going to be in their brains. And so, for mine, they're pretty little, and this is the only kind of way they've ever known to live. And so if this is a brand new, obviously you're not going to pull a full 360 on them from cutting everything out in extremes, but you can start to introduce some of these healthy living rules for them at a time. And so incentivize them, number one, make it fun. You know, kids really love to be a part of a unit. Like, they really love to belong to a family unit. And so go shopping together, you know, start introducing them how to prep foods and how to cook. Pick out recipes together. And I know we'll have some that are shared within this group, and there's a cookbook that's in the works. I don't know if it'll be done by the end of January, but we're thinking it will, so that might be a great place for you guys to dive in once it's done and find some recipes as families that you guys want to create. You know, print off the HLR poster, and Brian showed you what that looks like, and we'll show you in a little bit where to find it. But print it off, put it on your refrigerator, put it on your mirror, have a copy with you in the car. Yeah, it's a beautiful poster. And again, just that repetition, you know, it's a lot of like subliminal messaging. You may not have been thinking it, and then all of a sudden you see that, and then you're like, oh yeah, it triggers you to remember what you're up to and what you're doing, and to reinforce those positive habits. And then reward your kids. There is within this, it's the Healthy Living Rules Ambassador Program, and Brian can show you in just a second how to get to that as well. But this is another print off that gives your kids challenges that they can do, and you can either put stickers on them. The kids love stickers, or you can check mark it off or put stamps on it, whatever is your thing. But acknowledge that they've done it, and then reward them after they've completed so many, or when they complete the whole thing as a family, go celebrate in some fashion. So that's a really great way to get the kids enrolled. And then there's other just fun resources on our healthylivingrules.org website to keep the repetition of, you know, whole foods and real foods and fruits and vegetables and exercise and all the healthy living rules in front of your kids. Just the repetition of these simple things over time is going to start becoming normal in your kids too. Brian, okay, I was like, you're muted.
There you go, I'm muted. Jamie, thank you for that. And I would like to show everyone where to access those resources that you were talking about. So I'm going to share my screen right now and go to a website called healthylivingrules.org. healthylivingrules.org. Can you see that now, ladies? Yes. Okay, great. So if you go to healthylivingrules.org, this is our kind of our hub for the Healthy Living Rules, of which this challenge is a part. And just click up here and enter the Healthy Living Rules website. And inside the website, you can learn more about Juice Plus and see some success stories, and look a little bit more at our challenges. This reviews right here, this tab will review what we have just shared with you earlier, and it goes through upcoming challenges throughout the year. But up here at the top, this is called the HLR Member Center. And if you click here and enter the HLR Member Center, you'll be prompted to enter a password. I'm not sure if mine will require it. Okay, yes. So the password for this is the word welcome, W-E-L-C-O-M-E, welcome. And after you type in the password to access that, you'll see some wonderful resources that are available here. Now, the poster that was shared earlier, which we encourage everybody to print off to make a part of your household landscape, is right here. And you can see it has the 4 healthy living rules. Now, these are the long-term lifestyle rules that we want to live by. The challenge is a little bit more strict, right? The challenge says no dairy, no gluten. Well, the healthy living rules is avoid dairy, avoid gluten, avoid sugar. So it's a little bit more flexible. So when you're done with your time frame, whatever you choose, this is what you can fall back onto and begin to incorporate. And you might just do one simple change at a time. That's fine. You can start off with just one thing if you'd like. But moving down, wonderful recipes for the complete shakes. There's a delicious recipe book that you can use the complete powder and make these yummy energy bites. They're these little, almost like little cookies, but they're delicious and very healthy. The grocery shopping guide is right here, which is very helpful. If you need some help going to the store, you can find any of these foods are perfect for the January Jumpstart Challenge. But I do want to point out what Jamie was referring to called the Healthy Living Ambassador Challenge. That's the second one down here under Children's Resources, right below the activity pages for children. If you click on this, I love this so much. It's called the Healthy Living Rules Ambassador, and print one of these off for each of your children, and every time they do one of these healthy choices, like I went for a ride on my bike, I said no thank you to an unhealthy treat. Every time they come home and they say, hey mom, dad, look what I did, you can put a little sticker or a little check mark in the box, and when they're finished, this is really cute, there's some certificates here. Just go through and pick a certificate from this document, print one off, write their name on it, and let them feel really good about their decision to make healthy choices. And of course, there's many other recipes and blogs there. So we encourage you to explore that HLR Member Center. Again, the password is the word welcome. The password is welcome. So let me unshare my screen. There we go. All right, cool. Before we close up for the evening, I'd like to give all of our speakers one more chance to send us off with, maybe one final thought, one final tip. What would you like to share with everybody, Heather, as we're getting ready to launch this January Jumpstart?
Oh my goodness, I mean, it's a brand new year. You have everything to gain and nothing to lose. So I'm just going to say, whether it's 7, 14, 21, or 30, I just want everybody to just go for it, because you're going to be so, so thankful that you did.
Thank you. Jamie, what about you? What would you like to say to everyone?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, I would just say commit to it and pick your starting point, and then tell somebody about that, put it on social media, find a buddy, maybe somebody in your house, people who love you the most. And we often know that when you have a buddy, somebody doing this with you, it's so much more enjoyable because you guys can have a little bit more in-person connection about it. So finding a buddy could be really fun. Get your house ready, go through your pantries, remove those things that might tempt you, those triggers. Try to get them, if the other members of your household aren't going to be cool with you getting them completely out of the house, ask them to hide them. Just move them out of your line of sight as much as possible. Again, go shopping. Plan some meals, plan some snacks, plan some strategies. Look at your week ahead, and that, the if then, like if I get stuck in traffic, then I'm going to have this on hand, or if somebody throws a party at work, then I'm going to do this. Just have some strategies ready for yourselves beforehand. Toss the scales. Please don't, I encourage you, you want to measure before and after, so step on the scale before, but during the middle of the challenge, stay off that scale, because really that's only your relationship with gravity. It's not really telling you if you're having fat loss or lean muscle gain, and that true test is going to be coming during the whole challenge as your ring is fitting, your wedding ring is fitting looser, or your clothes, your pants are fitting better, your skin is getting clearer, things that are more important than just that silly number on that scale. And then lastly, you want it to be a positive experience, not only for you but your family. So don't make anybody feel bad about, maybe not drinking the detox drink. Some people are asking on the side about their kids. You can introduce it to them, but if they think it tastes disgusting, don't pour it down their throats. We want your kids to have a positive experience with the healthy living rules, as well as you. So that's my my advice.
Thank you, Jamie. Michelle, what would you like to share with everyone as we close?
My last thing that I'd like to say for everybody is just give yourself some grace. We're not perfect, and sometimes even though we're only doing 7 days, in the middle of it you might screw up and do something horrible on day 5, but that doesn't mean that all 7 days were for naught. Your next choice can be the right choice. You don't have to wait till tomorrow to restart. Nothing. If you ate a hamburger, well, get over it. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're going to screw up, at least enjoy the experience that you're looking for, and then start again. Next time you're going to eat the apple, don't guilt yourself, and don't make yourself feel horrible or put yourself through shame. The Healthy Living Rules is just a lifestyle change program that brings in a little bit more and a little bit more in layers, in time. And so we want to just have this great positive attitude towards healthy living, and that's how it's going to be long term for us. Like I said, I've been doing this program for so long. I lost my weight 2.5 years ago, and it's always stayed off, because when I go off the wagon, I thoroughly enjoy it. I love eating things that aren't on the Healthy Living Rules, but then I get right back to it with my next choice. So that would be what I would say. Give yourself some grace and kindness, and just start again with your next choice.
Thank you, Michelle. Really, that's so important. We have to allow ourselves the flexibility that we need to adjust, to kind of flow with the punches with this. So thank you for reminding us of that. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to also ask that if you haven't yet ordered your Juice Plus capsules or your complete shakes, get with the person who invited you to be a part of this challenge or to view this webinar. Get with them and ask them how you can get started with Juice Plus. It's very simple to order Juice Plus, but we do want to send you back to the person that shared this with you initially. And during the month of January, we want to keep in touch with you. And so we put together a Facebook group. It's called the January Jumpstart Facebook group. And I'm going to hold up the address here. This is sort of the short link to it. It's, oh, I guess it's backwards. I don't know. Is it backwards or forwards?
No, it's good.
Is it forward? Okay. It's backwards on my computer. I must be flipped. But it's www.hlrchallenge.org. hlrchallenge.org. If you go there, you can request to be added to the Facebook group, and we will be posting shake recipes and delicious meal recipes that you can try out during the entire month of January. Some weeks there might be more than others, but it will be collected there in that group. At the end of January, we will leave the group active. We won't be adding much to it, but at the end of January, if you want to go back in and copy any recipes or anything that you found that was of value from that group, you can definitely do so. Again, I'll hold it up once more. Maybe somebody can type it on the side if you're wondering. It's www.hlrchallenge.org, and you can go and join the group. Well, thank you, everybody. Here's to a marvelous new year. I wish you all the best, and thank you so much for joining us. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.